Yeah. There we go. The Southern Riverband boys out of Thornley. We actually saw Cal at Beers with BackChat last week, didn't we, Hammer?
Yeah, we did. We spoke about Chimney. Chimney, that song was being played there. It's the theme song for a mate of his who's wrestling in America.
Absolutely
so
right.
There you go.
Cal was in good form, as were you. Shelter FootyCast live from BackChat Studios here. While we're on it, BackChat Ale, they've been going down beautifully. That we are doing a North edition.
Yeah, we are. I saw that.
We're at the Gate Bar and Bistro last Thursday. We are at the Ashby Bar and Bistro next Thursday. We'll be there from 6:30 p.m. I don't know what the date is. I don't have my phone on me. I sort of do.
That'll be the 13th.
Thank you very much, Hamish. It will be the 13th. Thursday the 13th.
I'm a dates guy.
The BackChat Ale second release.
Yeah.
Down at the Ashby. It's delicious, isn't it?
I'll be there with bells on, but I've got footy in a couple of days, so I won't be ripping the lid off.
Okay, very good. Just a little sip, perhaps.
Correct.
Follow us on socials, Shelter FootyCast, FootyCast at shelterbrewing.com.au if you want to send us a question. Got to get through a few things today, Hammer.
Yep.
I keep almost calling you Skeeter. No,
That's okay.
No
That's
Mark
all right.
Readings again. Bottle Mart Roughie of the week.
That's going to be tough.
Your footy weekend at Bottle Mart. Grab your shelters where
That'll
Bottle
be
Mart has
tricky.
you covered. Mm-hmm. You reckon it's tough this week?
Oh, yeah, I've had a little look. I've had a squeeze.
I'm that far behind in the tips at the moment that I've started going rogue. And I'm trying to make up ground.
Yeah,
and I'm getting
it just
further
bridges
behind.
the gap, doesn't it? But
I'm
not
getting
really.
Further and further behind. All right, let's get into some big moments. Look, there's been a bit of action over here in the West. Jai Amos signs on for 2029.
That's an enormous signing. 2029. That's 6 years away.
Did you know this had happened?
Yeah, I saw this yesterday. It is just that's bonkers. But he's a gun.
Yeah.
You've spoken about that he should win the Rising Star, and I've been looking at it. And I'm like, well, I think he should.
I think he should too.
He's just so good at football. Kicks goals from anywhere. Duke clunks him. And who else have Freo got in the forward line for the next 10 years?
All right, so I think it's a good signing by the Freo Dockers, locking away a young star, a key position player, been screaming out for a... look, I think they've actually... I think Tabner and Tracy are both doing their thing as well, but clearly this man is...
he's the next
top of the tree type thing. Mm-hmm. A great signing by Freo. Is it a good signing by a player? You don't have to speak specifically about Jai, but locking yourself in at a young age, 19 years old, for the next 6 or 7 years.
I imagine he probably would have got a Godfather deal. You're not locking yourself away with all the potential unless you're putting your hands on the bag, like you're securing the bag. So I think he's probably done himself a really good deal. I imagine he might have tiers to it that get a little bit more as he goes on. But what is he? He'd be 20. He'd be 20 now, so that'll take him to 26.
Because this is his second year in the AFL.
This is his second year, so he'd be 20 this year, which will take him to 26, which is really when you can go large.
I saw this one from Ryan Daniels yesterday. Always
the
putting
Rhino.
out some good stuff, the footy Rhino. Mm-hmm. Have not missed the Freo Dockers with their top 25 selections. And your brother's probably in it in 2018 or 2017.
Yep.
But 2019, Hayden Young at 7, Sarong at 8, Henry at 9. Is that right? They had 7, 8, 9.
Did they?
I don't know. But Young, Sarong, Henry.
Yep. Henry, by the way, has turned his life around in the last 3 weeks. Has just gone bang, bang, bang. He's played the best 4 weeks of football in his whole life.
Why is that?
I'm not sure.
He's having 30s.
He's having 30s and kicking.
I played with him at
playing
Peel, and he just reminded me of Jet Boy. He takes kicks on, he runs, he carries, breaks lines. Yes, he hasn't been the most consistent player at AFL, but he's the sort of guy you need in your side.
Yeah, and he's playing on the wing, I think, because Ash is injured. No, not Ash. James Ash was injured, and he's just come out and had that bit of freedom on the wing and just gone whack.
2019, Young, Sarong, Henry. 2020, Heath Chapman, who's a star,
He's a good
but injured. Mm-hmm. And then 2021, Jai Amos, Neil Erasmus, Matt Johnson.
There you go.
Which can all play.
Yep.
They haven't missed.
Yeah, they haven't missed. Adam Chera was the only one, but they traded for him, and now who'd they get off the trade from? They got some picks.
Probably those fellas.
Probably Jai Amos, wasn't it? Yeah,
probably.
well, there you go. So you take that.
You'd be quite happy with it. And then you can chuck your brother in the mix
Yep.
as well. Well done to the Freo
You can.
Dockers. Talking about trades, Tom Barras has been muted as potential trade bait for the West Coast Eagles. It's been floated around for a little bit. I've heard that one going for some time, but it seems to be gathering some momentum. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's a really tough one for, I think, the Coasters, because he's one of few that have a lot of, he's still got real currency. He's a star.
Yep.
I think he's their most valuable player at this point.
Could or should be captain next year if Luke Shuey didn't feel like doing that next year.
Yep, he's the reigning best and fairest winner. And he's, how old is he, 27?
I think he's older than you think he is, but I think he's probably 28.
Well, that's still got years of really good football left. So he holds a lot of currency. Not sure what he's worth. I am horrible when it comes to telling you what the value of a player should be.
Well, if he was, let's say, a free agent, which he is not, he is contracted to the footy club, you'd get some sort of compensation pick, and he would get a first round, like, top pick for.
You reckon? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I reckon you'd be
good backmen don't grow on trees,
you'd be looking at a player plus a top 10 pick for Tom Barrass.
There you go.
He's West Coast's best player.
Yeah, he is.
Or
he
top
is.
3. I don't know. Best and fairest last year. So I would say he's their best player.
Second best, obviously, behind the ball.
Yeah, that's correct. But they're not. But they're not going to just give him up for nothing.
No, they won't give him up for nothing. If they give him up at all, and if he even wants to go, but
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah, you got to sort of shit. It's a tough one. I'll be doing everything you could if he does want to get out of there to hold him back because he's a star.
Alastair Clarkson making his way back into the North Melbourne ranks, easing his way back. I think it's a good thing. Potentially, we'll just leave the reins with Ratton for a little bit as he goes back in. It'd be difficult to come back in and say, right, I'm back.
Yeah, I think
Piss off, Rats.
He's had obviously a rough couple of months, and they're doing no better than North Melbourne Footy Club. So I think just sort of coming in, not a caretaker coach, because almost like what Paul Roos was doing with Goody when he was sort of there and just watching, and then sort of handed the reins over, but might not hand the reins over. Maybe just do that role.
He might actually find it better
6 weeks,
standing back a little bit and connect a little bit with the players. It's still his first year at the football club. They got a lot of work to do, the North Melbourne side. So,
they do.
Getting some more knowledge back into that football club is a good thing. All right, let's move on. Will Schofield, Hamish Brayshaw, Shelter FootyCast. Now, I'm going to give him a shout-out. Dan was meant to do the rundown, didn't do the rundown, so we're going to be making this up on the fly.
Dan Const.
Yeah, that's right. Dan forgot. Well, have a nice day off today, Dan. Richmond v Sydney, Thursday, 7:20 at the MCG.
It's tonight, if I think
that
if
is,
my memory serves me correctly. That is this evening.
That is this evening. I think a decently big game. Rumours that this will be Lance Franklin's last game at the MCG, if this is in fact his last game as a Swan. Couple of things for that.
Yep.
If Sydney can make finals, they can play at the MCG.
They can, definitely.
And he'd be in the team.
You'd think so.
But just say it is his last game. He's been an enormous player for the Swans. Do you think he retires this year? Is he done at the end of this year?
I'm not sure.
Skeeter does.
He's 36.
Skeeter's called him from Lords and says, get rid of him, we're retiring him. That's
He's 36?
Yeah, he's old.
He's old. But he's still like kicks bags every now and again. He's still a gun. He's still Buddy Franklin. Shit, I don't know. It'd be good for culture if nothing else.
Both sides come into this week with the same record, 6 wins, 8 losses, 1 draw, following the draw from the Swans last week. Whoever loses this can't make finals, even if the winner does win.
Yep.
No guarantee to make finals, but I think you're definitely done if you lose this one.
Oh, yeah. She's curtains if you don't. Look, I was pretty bullish on Richmond last week, and they got their pants pulled down.
81 points at the Gabba.
81 points to Gabba, yeah. They got their pants pulled down and a bare bum spank. So it was disappointing to see on their end.
Wow.
But I think they're going to bounce back.
Okay.
I think they're going to bounce back. I don't think Sydney are very good. I've said it a couple of times. I think you said the other day that Isaac Rankin was the best recruit of the year. I think Tim Taranto might be. He's been flying. Yeah. He's a Brownlow medal chance. They're just playing good footy. I hope Dusty's back. Not 100% sure. But if he is, even if he isn't, I'm going the Tigers.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking about it. Who would be the favourite? Would be Richmond be the favourite potentially?
She'd be tight. It'd be $1.80 to $2. I'm not obviously allowed to gamble and bet on football, so please don't take my word for that.
It's amazing, but it's pretty much those odds. I'm going to take. This is a hard one. I'm gonna take Sydney with Buddy back in the team. A little bit of a 2-goal swing for Sydney, and they'll get it done. Western Bulldogs v Collingwood Friday. The Friday night clash at Marvel Stadium. Big game for both of these sides. Not so much Collingwood. They're sitting pretty on the top of the ladder.
They've lost 2 games for the whole year.
Western Bulldogs find themselves in that big bunch of teams that we spoke about. Melbourne, St Kilda, Bulldogs, Adelaide, Essendon, Geelong. If we're going to include the teams at 28, probably. GWS, Freo, Gold Coast. Sydney at 26, Carlton at 26, Richmond at 26. All of those sides can make finals. And the Bulldogs need to try and win some of these games against big sides.
They do.
if they're going to have a chance.
It's they play Marvel very well, so that's what they've got going for them. What they don't have going for them is that Collingwood are the best team in the comp, so that makes things
That is correct.
difficult.
So the Bulldogs have got a few
difficult.
issues down back. Liam Jones, Tim O'Brien, Crozier, all sideline through injury.
Their backline's a bit bare at the moment, which is disappointing.
Do you think you see fucking Norts just slip down there for a little bit longer, or don't like him as a backman?
He could do. That's just putting a number back there that you maybe don't need. Keep him up forward.
I hate him as a backman. Yeah. He's an absolute star as a forward.
He's one of the great forwards in the comp, or potential forwards in the comp. He hasn't really shown that he's in that calibre this year as much.
Jordan back in for the Pies.
He's off for break. A little hiatus up in the Goldie.
Yes, he had a little hiatus up there.
Yeah, did he?
Ready to Jordan up on the Gold Coast. Yes.
Did he remember?
Shepherds.
No.
Absolutely not. Gave me nothing. They'll enter without Brody Myercheck. He'll miss a month with a hamstring, so that's a big out for them. But Jamie Elliott will come back into the side as well. So, look, Collingwood on the base of numbers get more numbers back in than the Bulldogs will.
I think the Collingwood Magpies are the best team in the comp, and I think they win this game of football.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though.
No, neither do I.
I think the Bulldogs are going to take it right up to them. It's going to be a really close game. But to go, he probably tips it for me. I'm going to take Collingwood.
Sure, I'll take Collingwood as well. And unless Bontempelli has 38 and kicks 4, Collingwood will win.
Which is every chance. He is having a year, an absolute season.
He's been doing this for the last 4 years.
Yeah, that's a good point. But as a leader, I was having this discussion about all this furore around the cricket, right? And the captaincy and captains and what they have to do. Cricket captains have a fair bit more than AFL captains game day, I think.
Yep,
They
I
set
agree.
the field, calling bowling lineups and changes and the plan, all of that sort of stuff. Whereas an AFL captain...
You just lead by example.
So what do you do? I mean, you're a waffle captain.
Off the
I would say
field,
it's quite,
off the field, you do a little bit more than
Correct.
you typically would. But on field, it's just you're playing football and
Are you
trying to
changing
lead.
anything? You're not changing anything out.
You're trying to lead by example is what you're doing.
Correct.
If there's something that, very rarely, if they've kicked a couple of goals and the runner hasn't said, put one behind the ball, as a captain, you can do that. But anyone can do that.
Yes.
The winger can just put himself behind the ball and call the forward up. So
Yes. Whereas you're not putting yourself into the bowling lineup, is it? If it's not going well. No. Give us the ball, Skip.
give me the ball. I'm going. Nah, it's. I think there is a little bit less to do. It's more on-field leading by example as opposed to actually making changes.
So on that point, I think around the league in terms of captains, Bontempelli strikes me as the sort of guy that when it's not going well for his team, he puts himself in the middle.
Yep.
Go to.
Yep.
Get on my back, boys.
Yeah, shut up and hold my BackChat ale and let me get to work. That's what he's saying. I think.
But they're going to lose.
Yeah, they are going to lose. Hey, Bontempelli, gun, but they're going to lose.
Brisbane play West Coast Saturday, 1:45. It's an Arvo game, which I think is a positive thing. Anything at night, which your home of football, the Gabba.
Yeah, my spiritual home.
You would know. Anything once the sun goes away, it just gets wet.
It just gets slippery and wet. I mean, I was still able to be pretty clean and get myself on the scoreboard with a point.
Look, we haven't had the teams just yet, but I think there's going to be some decent changes to the West Coast Eagles this week. Don't be surprised if there aren't some senior players missing from that side, and don't be surprised if they get some senior players back. Tim Kelly will be back. Jeremy McGovern, I believe, is playing.
Wow.
There is one more person that I watched training and thought he may be a chance of playing. Tom Cole, is he far away?
He's not far away, I don't think. I was having lunch with him the other day, but he didn't say anything, unfortunately.
Okay, I think West Coast. My call on the teams for tonight. Yep. They'll get 3 senior players back, but they'll lose 2. You heard it here first on the show.
Wow, that's disappointing. I can or cannot confirm that.
I can.
I don't know it.
But given the ups and downs
I think given the list changes at West Coast and the ins and outs for the team, I think they just get it done.
You're picking them.
I'm tipping them.
Of course, yeah. This is your bottom art roughie of the week. You're going to
my bottom art roughie of the week, the mighty Coast. No. I'm going to save that. I think there's another roughie in there that I like.
It's a bit of a gun to the head situation given your employment at the West Coast Eagles.
Nah, nothing to do with it, mate.
Okay, thank you very much.
Die-hard Coaster, 1 game, 1 win forever, especially at my home.
Look, I'll be picking Brisbane. If we're talking about you absolute idiot. If we're talking about Brizzy and we're just speaking about captains. Lockie Neal and what he does for this football club.
He's going to win another Brownlow, is he?
Yeah,
I've said that about Taranto as well. But
you like him for the year that he's had.
Yeah, Neal. I like him a lot. I think he's a smoky. What is he? I mean, I don't know the odds, but he wouldn't be in the top 3 or 4 favourites.
Yeah, he's towards the top 5.
He's a very good player who just does a lot of good things with the ball, and I think what he does watching is very much under the umpire's eyes and knows it's like, I'm getting really quality clearance. I'm just working hard at stoppage. If I get 30, 15 of them will be around the umpire's face. The other 15 will sort of be out and about. And I think the ones that he gets in tight, especially when it gets slippery, he just has grip on his hands to the 10th degree.
I agree.
And just goes bang, 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 and he's very, very clean as a whistle.
Brisbane are averaging 39 point wins at the Gabba this year. Oh, look, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not a massive blowout. I think Simo and the boys will be looking to make this a competitive game, but I just don't think they have. I don't think they have the crop to do it.
Oh, that's a fair assessment of the situation, but I still think the Coasters will get it done.
Brisbane for me. GWS v Hawthorn. You're saving your bottom up roughie of the week.
I am saving my bottom up roughie.
GWS play Hawthorn at Giant Stadium.
Yep.
GWS have won 4 of their last 5. They lost that narrow one to Richmond. They could be. You could make the argument they're one of the most informed teams in the competition. Port Adelaide clearly, Collingwood clearly, but GWS not far behind.
Yeah, GWS not far behind, and obviously led by one man in defence, Jack Buckley.
Yes.
Toby Green's doing wonders there. The interview with him the other day was very, very good. He's flying. The club is flying, but they're going to run into a roadblock this week against the mighty Hawkers.
So
I'll get there.
Really? Okay, so GWS play Hawthorn at home. They've beaten Melbourne. They've beaten Geelong in this past little bit. They've beaten some good sides.
Yep.
Can GWS play finals?
GWS can play finals. They're going to have to win a lot of games after this week because this week they get done by the Hawks.
Well,
the great bottom art roughies of the week.
We're talking bottom art roughie of the week. Start your footy weekend at bottom art. Grab your shelters where bottom art has you covered after getting absolutely spanked off the park last week, the Hawks.
Yep.
You think they rebound at GWS and get it done? Why?
Why?
Because I like them.
Yeah, I like them. Here's why. I'm looking at West Coast. West Coast lose to Adelaide by a lot. They lose to Sydney by a lot.
Yes.
The Troops rally and they nearly knock off the Saints, who are the 5th team in the competition.
Right.
Hawthorn get whacked off the park.
Right.
Sam Mitchell, boys, bring it in.
Talking about whacking off.
What are we doing?
Yes.
What are we doing here, lads? We've got to find something. This week we go into the Giants. The Giants have beaten Geelong. They weren't very good. Melbourne was shithouse. They've had some good wins, but they've had some average wins. West Coast beat them in the second round of the year. They're not a final side. They might get there, but we're not letting them get there. We're going to go out and put the foot down, play with some flair. Sam Mitchell will be riling the boys up. The Hawks get it done.
Sicily remains unavailable.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. The Hawks get it done.
Really?
Mark my words. Bottom up roughie of the week.
You sounded like a coach giving a rev-up speech.
Didn't I? Everyone's a little bit aroused.
I don't know. Look, they beat Geelong in a big one. They're scoring. You're throwing some drive-bys through. I can hear them. I'm stopped listening to them. You actually missed mine before.
No, I didn't.
Okay, great. Thank you. They're scoring GWS. I think if Hawthorn are going to win, it's going to be a shootout, and I don't think they can win in a shootout.
Good old-fashioned Texan shootout.
GWS win by a couple of goals in a high-scoring affair.
There you go.
At Giant Stadium. I don't know who my roughie's going to be. I've just had a look at the rest of the game.
There's only one more.
Yeah, and it's, oh boy. St Kilda v. Skeeter does this to me all the time. He's like, oh, mate, good luck with the next one. I'll come up with something. Don't know how. St Kilda play Melbourne, Saturday night footy. Big game of footy. Both of these sides sitting around about the same spot on the ladder. In fact, exactly the same spot on the ladder. Fourth play fifth on 36 points, going well, both of these sides. Where do you have both teams? Does St Kilda come back from the Perth trip after having been challenged by West Coast in clearly a rebound game for them? Do they move on from that pretty quickly and try to get to the big stuff, which is playing a top 8 side?
I think so. I think Ross. So Michael Pryor is the AFLW head coach at West Coast, and I work very closely with him. And he was a coach at Fremantle for years.
Yes,
and worked alongside Ross. And I asked him on Monday. I said, "How would Roscoe have been at halftime and at the end of the game?" And he said, "Mate, he would have torn shreds off the team.
Really?
Just like a rip through him." Told a story about when he one day, Clancy Pearce, he walked in and just yelled at Clancy Pearce so loud that the supporters in the crowd could have heard it. Was just obliterating this bloke. Clancy's a very introverted guy apparently and was just sitting there just like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Probably didn't touch the ball in the second half. Ross walks back behind the door, closes the door, execute one to educate 1,000. So he would have done something similar, I think, on the weekend against the mighty Coasters. He would have ripped the shreds off a couple of blokes,
right?
Set the scene for the rest of it, and I think they bounce back. I think they're a good team. I think they were let down on the weekend. They still won the game, which was good, but I think they'll bounce back.
Look, I can't bring myself to pick. There's actually 2 teams upcoming that I could pick: North Melbourne to beat Geelong or Gold Coast to beat Port Adelaide. I think I'm going to excuse myself from those just so we can remain a bit of integrity on this podcast. I'm going to take St Kilda as well, but I'm going to have them winning by more than 3 goals, actually 4 goals. They're going to get them done easily. So
is that going to be your roughie?
Yeah, it's my bottom up roughie of the week. St Kilda to win by over 4 goals.
All right.
That's on the back of no Bailey Fritsch, basically.
Yeah.
Clayton Oliver, we saw some footage of him arguing with the trainer. Did you see that footage?
I did see
that
footage.
What was your overall reaction? I'll tell you mine. Completely normal behaviour.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think
he's been in rehab for five weeks. He's trying 5, 6, 7 weeks, whatever it is. He's trying to get back to play. His team's not going well. He's their best player. Clearly, he hasn't hit some sort of metric in rehab, and you would have done that before. I've done that before. There is no other reaction that you have than his pure frustration.
He's just anger.
The relationship you have with the trainers and rehabbers and physios it's not volatile, but it's direct, and you need instant feedback from them.
Tell me what the hell's going on with me.
Correct.
And if you can't, it's like, why aren't I playing?
It's not anger or anything, but you would have had the same deal.
Frustration.
It's a good relationship, I think.
Yeah, I think
My
so.
reflection over that time, people trying to get you right. You're trying to push the limits. They're trying to make sure you're right to go, and it's like trying to find this balance.
You spend a lot of, you were there for a lot longer than I was, but you spend a lot of time with physios when you're in rehab in very compromising positions. They've got fingers in hamstrings that are about to, with thumbs in there. It's like, this is going to hurt. Like there's fucking elbows in arse. You're sore in your shoulders. It's just like you're laying on a bed with like just your undies on, and it's like, hey, my life's in your hands here a little bit. So you get a very good relationship with them. But I just don't think Melbourne are playing good enough at the moment to win.
Sometimes you're happy that no one's got a camera around and end up on Google Drive somewhere. Now, St Kilda...
Didn't need to be that obvious.
St Kilda v Melbourne.
Here I was with the subtlety.
St Kilda v Melbourne, they miss Clayton Oliver we speak about, but Bailey Fritsch, as I mentioned, he's out with a broken foot effectively. He's
disappointing.
Going to be out till at least finals, maybe the year, depending on how his recovery goes. Jacob Van Rooyen will come back into the side. Has to come back in. With no Bailey Fritsch. They haven't been able to score. Last 4 weeks, haven't kicked over 60 points.
Yep, it was pissing down with rain and freezing cold in Alice Springs.
But it wasn't that for the 3 weeks prior to that.
That's true. Or they were at Geelong before. That was an average game. They're just not. Yeah, they're not getting it going. Clayton Oliver has given.
They kicked 63 points against Geelong.
Oh, there you go.
And they had the bye, so they didn't score that round. They kicked 66 against Collingwood, but won.
Nice.
And they kicked 61 against Carlton and won. So they haven't scored. They've been winning, just not scoring. 72 against the Dockers the week before.
Won.
They're not yet. No, lost.
Lost. Oh yeah, they did lose to the Dockers. That was before the bye.
That was like your brotherly.
That was like 11 years ago by this point. Yeah, they haven't been scoring overly well. I'm not sure what it is. Clayton Oliver gives you 1,000 clearances a game, which probably gets the ball in your forward line a little bit more than it normally does. I just don't know what they're doing at the moment, Scully, and it hurts to see because I obviously want Angus to play well, but I think the Saints just bounce back and go bang.
Max King v Stephen May going to be a big matchup as it was against Tom Barrass. I still think St Kilda win by over 4 goals, and that's my bottom up roughie of the week. Thank you very much. You want to give me like a little sting or something?
The bottom up roughie of the week.
Port Adelaide v Gold Coast, Saturday, Adelaide Oval. I don't hold great hopes for the Gold Coast Suns in this game. Well, Stuart Dew, I've been asked a lot about this during the week, Stuart Dew's position.
They came out the other day and said that he's our man.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And on reflection of it all, I was asked on TV last night about it, and it was my answer then, and it still is. I don't know if bringing another coach into this side does anything. This is a group that needs connection, that needs to build resilience, that, yes, they haven't been performing, but bringing in a Damien Hardwick type, he's going to have to build those. I don't think it's game plan with these blokes. I really don't. I don't think they're playing a poor game plan. They still just don't know how to win. And so bringing in a winner, I don't think that teaches them.
Yeah, I think they've got to learn to do it by themselves, and it's a hard thing to do in football with a young group.
Do you think Stuart Dew knows how to win? I reckon he does.
I think he probably does, and I reckon he knows how to kick goals from 45 in a grand final to get it done.
Slugging it out.
Yeah. So, I agree. I don't think it changes anything, especially not with however many rounds left in the season, and he's got another year on his contract. I think showing loyalty to your coach as a footy club is, like, with the club coming out with a stance saying, hey, he's our man, gives him confidence, gives the boys confidence that they're going to have some consistency So it allows that connection to build and it allows that opportunity to win.
Port Adelaide are on a club,
But they won't win.
Club record 12-game winning
sorry, it
streak.
allows them to, but they're not going to.
Yeah, correct. I like Port Adelaide's form and the way they've been playing this year has been surprising to me.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they were good. I knew they were good, but I didn't think they'd be this good.
Yeah, correct. Look, they've been outstanding. Their next 5 looks a little bit different. Gold Coast, they've got a pretty tough run coming up. St Kilda at home, and then GWS, Brisbane and Adelaide. They're all tough games.
Oh, yeah, they are tough games.
Look, I think Gold Coast are going to really struggle to make finals again this year. They've never made it, of course. Port Adelaide, what are they doing well? Their midfield is outstanding.
Best midfield in the comp for mine.
Rosie, Butters, Wines,
Boak.
Does he even get a gig anymore?
Rosie, Butters, Horn Francis, the Hudson Hornet.
Yeah, but there's a lad that is just a grunt player for them that I can't remember
Insert
his
name of.
I'm going to think of it right now.
That's a great question. I'm not sure what his name is.
I got it for you.
Who are you trying to think of?
Hang on, it's going to be good.
Rosie, Butters,
You're going to go. That's right.
The
it
Hornet.
is Willem Drew.
Willem Drew. Yeah.
He's
young
just a
player.
grunt guy.
Yeah,
he's a grunt guy.
Very good player too. They've got the best midfield in the comp.
They do. So their midfield was never a question for mine. It was their goal kicking ability. Rosie steps up most weeks and kicks goals from the midfield.
Finlayson's been a massive inclusion.
He has.
He kicks 3 or 4.
But
and
that surprises me.
Same. I agree. But he gets on the scoreboard. Rioli has added a little bit of class down there that finds the scoreboard. Even the Horn Francis, the big Hornet, the Hudson Hornet, Doc Hudson, the Piston Cup winner. He's down there. The Horn. He gets down there and kicks goals.
Horny Horn.
Yeah.
We picked Port Adelaide.
Yeah, we do.
Geelong v North Melbourne, Sunday at Kidinia Park. I got to be honest, I think this could be a big blowout. I can't see Kangaroos being competitive in this one. What do you think?
Well, it pains me as a North Melbourne supporter of old.
You are too.
I have been
a shin boner.
A shin boner, yeah, a massive boner. I've been down there a couple of times to watch North Melbourne at Kidinia Park as a youngster, and the trip was never very successful. It's a tough ground to play at the best of times. It's even harder when you're not playing very good footy.
Yeah.
They just, it's difficult to see them. But look, Clarko coming back in might help the morale of the team.
Oh, the little uptick from the new...
Yeah. I just don't think it's enough to get them over what I think will be a 10-goal loss.
Look, the Roos have been able to score in the last few weeks. They've averaged just over 82 points a game, which is better than Melbourne, as we spoke about them. So they can kick a score. I just
Nick Larkey, star.
Yeah, okay.
He's a gun, that bloke.
Yeah, I
He's a real good player.
I think North Melbourne's midfield has the potential to be very, very good, but has been disappointing.
If it's up and running and not injured, like Davies Uniacke's been injured.
Correct.
So they've got Simpkin, Davies Uniacke, George Wardlaw, who's the world's greatest player.
Like him a lot.
They've got the Shees down back. They've got Nick Larkey up front, Cam Zurha, the Bull. They've got reasonably good young talent.
They've got very good young talent. They just haven't been able to put the runs on the board.
Yep.
A couple of ex-Freo guys running around in there as well. Griff and
Tucker. Yep. I just don't think they'll win, obviously. I think Geelong will get it done. Geelong, I think, are just starting to creep into some good form.
Are they, though?
I think so. They're winning games.
They drew last week.
Yeah, but they're winning and drawing. That's they're not losing. The dangerous part for them is that they are just starting to tick points over.
So the last 3 weeks,
if they can get into the finals and launch at it as the reigning premiers, it's going to be awkward.
So the last 4 weeks, we'll go last 5 weeks. Geelong beat Western Bulldogs, had the bye, lost to Port Adelaide.
Best team in the comp.
Beat Melbourne,
yep.
Drew to Sydney.
Okay, so they lost to Port. They lost to the second best team in the comp.
Yeah.
That's, how much did they lose that game by?
4 goals.
Yeah, so, that's you're playing the best team in the comp there. But they've won. They've only dropped points in one of those games in the last 5 weeks.
I think what we're seeing from Geelong this year is and completely understandable, but not expectation, but the relief of winning a flag for a lot of those players.
Yep.
It's not complacency, but they are very happy to have won that flag, and it's very difficult to keep the drive going once you have that feeling. You lose the we need a premiership feeling.
Yeah, I still think they'll tick it over and make finals. Just.
Yeah, okay.
They might scrape into 8.
We're both picking Geelong.
Yeah, we are both.
If they do, they'd be a danger side for sure.
Correct.
They've got enough experience.
A Dangerfield side. Get it? Yeah,
okay,
come on.
good.
Wow, we're away.
Essendon v
Throwing puns
Adelaide.
out here left and right.
Will they get Jeremy Cameron back? Maybe.
Not up to date with the injury list of the Mighty Cats.
Essendon v Adelaide Sunday afternoon.
This is shaping up to be a reasonably good game of football.
Not as big as the Fremantle Carlton game, which we haven't quite gone through, which we usually go off the top, but that's okay.
All.
That's what happens when you don't do the run sheet, Dan. Essendon v Adelaide Sunday, 3:20 p.m. Maybe a 1:20 game for us here, I believe.
Yep.
I'm looking at a Victorian website. Now, is this Essendon's most important game of the season, given the ramifications around ladder position from this game?
Yes, I think so. I think they've surprised a lot of people, I think, with the way they've played this year. But I think they're coming up against a side who everyone expects to play finals and is a real, genuine quality team in Adelaide who have just got star power everywhere. I think what Adelaide have got is they've just got like individual stars that have just gelled together really, really well in their forward line, in their midfield.
I think they're more attacking. Yeah. We talk about these sides that are looking to jump up in St Kilda, Adelaide, Essendon, Bulldogs even. I think the best attack is Adelaide, given Taylor Walker's leading the column.
Correct. I just think they've got that nice blend of really, really good players who have gelled, whereas Essendon, they've got some good players, but it's not as star-studded, I don't think. And
their list isn't as good as Adelaide's.
They're just playing well as a team. So I think this will be the old champion team beat a team of champions sort of situation if Essendon can get it done, which I'm not saying they will yet. I haven't actually decided who I'm going to tip.
This is how I roll.
I think this is most definitely their most important game.
I'm going to be picking Adelaide, giving I'm going to be picking Adelaide because I like their attack. I like their dare. I like the way they take the game on. I think Essendon can do that at stages, but haven't been consistent enough in that area, and that's why I'm picking Adelaide.
Yeah, I do love the Crows. I just think this is a big game for Essendon. They nearly got it done against the Power last week, who I think are the second best team in the comp.
Yes.
I think Essendon will win the game of football against the Adelaide Crows.
That's you and I are different.
As much as I love the Crows, and I think Isaac Rankin and little Rochelle's a star, they've got some really good players. I just think Essendon, it'll be the champion team beat a team of champions.
Fremantle, you've had to wait a long time for this one. The last game of the round, an absolute stinking time, Sunday afternoon, v Carlton, Optus Stadium.
Oh, that's all this time slot deserves, I think.
I've written them. I've written them off. I've written Freo off. I said you can't make finals. I've been strong on them for 18 months, but I've come out this week and said that's enough. Enough's enough.
Enough's enough. Yeah. Well, I have gone the other way and thought, you know what? I was very nearly teetering over the edge and thought, how dare you? Really? How dare you do that? Your brother's playing there. You like the team. I think they can do it. And it just so happens that this week coincides perfectly with my least favourite team in the competition, Carlton.
Yes.
Who, with the exception of maybe 2 or 3 players, are just irrelevant. And the Sunday 4:40 slot at Optus, like that's their time. That confirms it. Like that is your get rid of the like. Hey, you want to play round 1 opening of every year? Sweet. Well, how about you just take Sunday at 4:40?
Yes.
I don't think either are playing well. Let me put that out there.
Right.
Don't think either are playing well. I just think Fremantle have a lot more to lose this game.
There'll be some big matchups. I don't know if they have the ruck combination to go with Freo. Sean Darcy, Luke Jackson are superior in this.
Yep.
Jack Silvani and who? I think Lewis Young's been playing there. I don't think Pittenet's been playing there. So I think they get extreme dominance.
Injured?
Yeah. And I don't think De Koning's playing either.
No.
So I think they get extreme dominance through the midfield because of that.
Yep.
But given that fact, Carlton would know that, as you know, as a midfielder. You're not rolling into this game going, geez, I hope Jack Silvani beats Sean Darcy in the run.
I hope we get 50 hit-outs.
Yeah, correct. So you know that. You go into a game like this. The midfield of Carlton, who are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Cripps, Walsh, Kerno runs through there, Chera.
Yep.
They've got a midfield to match up here. They'll come in with an extremely defensive setup. That's where it'll be won and lost.
Who is going to play on Paddy Cripps is the question. Like, who's going to go to him at a stoppage? Who's going to play? Because Fife's injured.
Is Aish coming back in?
Aish is not 6'4" and 100 kilos.
They like that. They like doing that, don't they?
They like doing that.
They like having him as a cooler, but you're not asking for a cooler. You're asking for a stoppage matchup.
I'm asking for a stoppage matchup.
Well, who do you think?
There can't be one because Andrew's not big enough. Caleb's not big enough.
Right.
Will Brodie, if they bring him back in, he's not big enough. Jago O'Meara's too small. Do they play Luke Jackson as an on-baller?
Wow.
And play him on Paddy Cripps?
Wow.
Maybe.
You're telling me there's a chance.
I'm telling you there's a chance. I'm just throwing hypotheticals out there, hypotheticals even, and I'm just not 100% sure who goes to the 6'4" Adonis in Paddy Cripps.
Hey, is this a lay down misère for you though, Freo to beat Carlton? Can't be. You can't be happy with what you've seen from the Dockers.
No, I'm not happy with what I'm seeing from the Dockers by any stretch. But I'm happier. I'm picking them. I'm happier than what I've seen from the Carlton Blues.
Okay.
The gutless baggers. the gutless baggers. Yeah, so I'll be tipping the Dockers.
Very good. I'm picking the Dockers too.
Nice.
Will Schofield, Hamish Brayshaw, Shelter FootyCast.
The back of I'm never tipping them again. I've seen all I've seen from them. I'm still tipping them.
Well, you can't, mate. I'm with you, mate.
You can't tip Carlton.
The Blues and Gold
I've said
Coast.
that and they've won the last 3.
Blues and Gold Blues.
I said I'm never tipping Carlton again. I think they've won 2 of their last 3.
The Blues and Gold Coast of mine are completely irrelevant. All right, we're going to listen to a question, I believe. This one's hot from the press. Jacko.
Hope it's not too hot.
That's his name. I don't understand your hate and constant bashing for Brisbane, Scully. They can win away from the Gabba. It's just the MCG that, for whatever reason, they struggle with. It's going to be a problem come grand final time, Jacko. They've won 4 out of 8 games away from home this year, which is a 50% record on the road.
Not great.
If you're dominating teams at home and winning 50% of your games on the road, the stats suggest you are a pretty good footy side. More Brisbane appreciation, Scully. Jacko, I actually agree with you with everything you've just said, especially the part about being a pretty good footy side.
They are a pretty good footy side, no question.
Now, the problem that lies within that statement is you want to win a premiership, Jacko.
It's got to be done at the Mighty G, doesn't it?
You can't win at the MCG.
You can't win one at Marvel.
And you can't win a flag if you're a pretty good footy side. You need to be elite. You need to be ruthless.
Yep, you need to be the best footy side.
You need to be able to perform away from the G. Now, okay, you've won 4 out of 8 games. I wish I had have seen this earlier to see where they'd won and what they'd been doing and who they'd beaten. I think it's commonly held and known that they don't perform against good sides away from home. Now, I could look very silly here and they might have beaten Collingwood, Melbourne and Geelong away from home.
I don't think they have
I don't
done
think
that.
they have.
No, I don't think they have done that. I think it's a great statement. I think they are a good side and they're going to finish top 4 and they're going to get a second chance. They might even get a home final and find their way to the MCG.
But we've seen that before, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. You have to win at the Coliseum, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and they just can't at this point in time. So it's going to be real difficult. Great statement. Yes, they're a good footy team. They're a good footy team. But they're not the best.
You got anything for me over there, Jaden? I know you're looking desperately.
Lost to Power at Adelaide Oval. Lost to a good side away. There you go. 1. Lost to the Dogs at Marvel. A reasonable side away. Lost. Okay, you beat the Giants.
They beat Kangaroos away from home.
Good
They beat the Roos in Adelaide.
Gather round.
That doesn't count, I'm afraid.
They beat the Blues at Marvel Stadium.
Okay, well, the Blues are the worst team in the comp.
They were beaten by Port Adelaide at Adelaide Oval.
Yep.
They lost to Adelaide at
You lost to Adelaide at Adelaide, a good side away.
MCG.
You lost to the Hawks at the G.
Jackson.
Yeah, listen.
Jacko.
There you
We've
go,
answered your
Jacko.
question, my man. That is why I don't rate Brisbane. Look, there's been a few things thrown up around the traps here at the Shelter FootyCast, but I just don't think they can win a grand final at this stage.
No, I completely agree with you.
You can't have senior players dropping yourselves either. That's the other non-love thing that I
and they're gonna be Richie and who's it? Jack? Who is it?
Jack
Richie and
Gunston.
Gunston. They'll be at the Ashby Park Bistro.
If you missed Jack Gunston and Daniel Rich
At the gate.
they will be at the Ashby, 6:30 p.m. 13th Thursday. Come down, get yourself a shelter.
Get a selfie with Jack and Daniel.
Pull one of those up. Can you lean over and get one of those? You can move the microphone. Give the people a bit of a look at the empty back chat.
Sorry about that.
If you want one of these, down the barrel, please, Hammer.
Have a look at this Shelter. Hang on, let me just line that up. Shelter BackChat Ale, 375ml, alcohol percentage of a 4.2. 1.2 standards. Obviously, don't drink while pregnant, but that is a gorgeous looking can. It tastes delicious. It sounds delicious when you open it. It just looks delicious as a can. And I'll be doing everything in my power to not have 50 of these because I'll be playing footy 2 days afterwards. But my goodness, that's giving me a stiff.
There you go. Shelter FootyCast live from BackChat Studios. Follow us on socials. Listen to us as a podcast. Watch us on YouTube. FootyCast@shelterbrewed.com.au. If you're going to send us an email. Hammer, I'm not sure if you're back Monday, but if you are,
I won't be. But
bloody look forward to it.
it's great.
See you later, mate.